Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण everyone. So today is Saturday, 14th of October. It is Ashwini Masa or Padmanabha Masa, Krishna Paksham, Amavasya Tithi. So there is one event. So it is Sarva Pitru Amavasya. So today it is many people, they offer their oblations or Shraddha, they perform Shraddha ceremony to their forefathers. So what it means to our Krishna consciousness is, so in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentions that a devotee's Devarshi Bhota Apta Nunam Pitru Nunam Nakinkaro Nayam Runicha Rajan. So one cannot be debtful to the forefathers. Sarvasmanaya Sarva Saranam Saranyam Gato Mukundam Parvitya Kattam. So that is the ultimate. But however, in the Brahma Vaivarta Puran also we have seen how who is the topmost person in qualifications of the Brahmanas and then Vijas and then Panditas, like that. It mentions whoever is daily eating prasada and engaging himself in the temple services, so he is the topmost. Everybody who eats the prasada, he is the topmost Brahman or a Vaishnava. So from that point of view, and also in the Narsimhadev also mentions to Prahlad about that to perform the Shraddha ceremony to his father, and even though he was purified. But devotees, they do not neglect even the Pitrus, so they are always surrendered to Lord and forefather. So here, from our point of view, we prepare prasadam, offer to the deities, and then the prasadam, if we offer that prasadam to the Pitrus, that is also auspicious, not only for us for taking, even if we offer to the forefathers, it is most auspicious. So I also request dear devotees, so when you get a chance, offer prasadam and to the Lord, and then give that remnants to the forefathers. So that's all my request. So that's from the Vaishnava events perspective, and we shall quickly enter into our Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj is speaking to Dharma and Dharani. So not to lament. So far, Parikshit has mentioned that so far, except this mother cow and the bull, he has not seen anyone is lamenting. Anyone has kept the tears in their eyes. So, O Surabhi, O son of Surabhi, O Saurabheya, so do not worry, I am here. O Amba, O mother cow, so I am here, do not worry anymore. So I will punish this miscreant. And then in such a way he has addressed it. Najato Kauravendranam Dordhanda Parirambhite Bhotale Anupatanti Asmin Vinate Praninam Suchaha Ma Saurabheya Atra Sucho Vyetute Vrushalad Bhayam Marodi amba badram te khalana mai shastari. I am here to punish that miscreant. Whoever is causing you all this lamentation, keeping you tears in your eyes. So I am going to punish. And further, he is going to say why he is going to punish the miscreants and who are making other living entities to keep the tears in their eyes or making terrifying other living entities. He he says that within a kingdom, when all the living entities are being terrified by this miscreant, then if the king is negligent about such kind of the living entities, then what happens? All his fame and his lifespan and all his opulence will be completely degraded. It will be destroyed. Parodharma is to protect such kind of living entities from the such kind of distressfulness. That is the first duty of a king. So that's why I'm going to kill this miscreant. So likewise, he is giving assurance to the mother cow and the dharma. So we are in the first canto, chapter 17, verse 10 and 11. Yasya raste prajaha sarvaha त्रस्यन्ते साध्वी असाधुभिः तस्य मत्तस्य नश्यन्ति कीर्तिः आयुः भगो गतिः एष राज्ञं परो धर्मो हि आत्तानाम् आत्तिनिग्रहः अत एनं वदिष्यामि भूतद्रुहम् असत्तमम् यस्य राष्ट्रे प्रजाः सर्वाः. So yasya raste, in the state affairs, prajaha sarvaha, and of all the living entities, trasyante sadvi asadubhihi. Trasyante is who is making this terrification to the living entities. Trasyante sadvi asadubhihi, by asadubhi, by the miscreants. If the miscreants are terrifying other living entities, O Mother Earth, O Sadhvi, O cow, mother cow, यस्य राष्ट्रे प्रजाः सर्वाः त्रस्यन्ते साध्वी असाधुभिः तस्य मत्तस्य नश्यन्ते. And if the king tasya mattasya, if he is simply ignorant or ignoring such kind of distressfulness to the other living entities, tasya mattasya, then what happens? Nasyanti kirtihi ayuhu bhago gatihi. Everything will be destroyed. What are they? Nasyanti, what are being destroyed? Kirtihi, the fame, ayuhu, his lifespan, and bhago gatihi, and all his opulence will be completely destroyed. Tasya mattasya nasyanti kirtihi ayuhu bhago gatihi. So that's why yesh rajnam paro dharmo hi attanam atti nigrahaha. That's why yesh rajnam. So for the kings, what is paro dharmo? Paro dharmo hi, definitely attanam atti nigrahaha. So it is to relieve the distress from the distressed living entities. That is the first duty. Yesha rajnam paro dharmo hi attanam atti nigrahaha. That is first duty. So that's why atayenam vadishyami. That's why I'm going to kill this miscreant. Atayenam vadishyami. Bhutadruham asattamam. And who is making such kind of distress to the other living entities or a revolter against other living beings. He is the asattamam, the most wretched person. So likewise, Parikshit is saying his words. Atayena vadishyami bhutadruham asattamam. So yasya rashtre prajaha sarvaha trasyanti sadvi asadubhihi tasya mattasya nasyanti kirtihi ayuhu bhago gatihi एष राज्यं परो धर्मो हि आत्तानाम् आत्ति निग्रहः अतयेन वदिष्यामि भूतद्रोहम् असत्तमम्. So translation for this verse: O Chestevan, the king's good name, duration of life, and good rebirth vanish when all kinds of living beings are terrified by miscreants in his kingdom. It is certainly the prime duty of the king to subdue the first suffering of those who suffer. Therefore, I must kill this most wretched man because he is violent against other living beings. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When there is some disturbance caused by wild animals in a village or town, the police or others take action to kill them. Similarly, it is the duty of the government to kill at once all bad social elements such as thieves, dacoits, and murderers. The same punishment is also due to animal killers because the animals of the state are also the praja. Praja means one who has taken birth in the state, and this includes both men and animals. Any living being who takes birth in a state has the primary right to live under the protection of the king. The jungle animals are also subject to the king, and they also have a right to live. So, what to speak of domestic animals like the cows and bulls? Any living being, if it terrifies other living beings, is a most wretched subject, and the king should at once kill such a disturbing element, as the wild animal is killed when it creates disturbances. Similarly, any man who unnecessarily kills or terrifies the jungle animals or other animals must be punished at once. By the law of the Supreme Lord, all living beings, in whatever shape they may be, are the sons of the Lord, and no one has any right to kill another animal unless it is so ordered by the courts of natural law. The tiger can kill a lower animal for his subsistence, but a man cannot kill an animal for his subsistence. That is the law of God, who has created the law that a living being subsists by eating another living being. Thus, the vegetarians are also living by eating other living entities. Therefore, the law is that one should live only by eating specific living beings, as ordained by the law of God. The Ishopanishad directs that one should live by the direction of the Lord and not at one's sweet will. A man can subsist on varieties of grains, fruits, and milk ordained by God, and there is no need of animal food, save and except in particular cases. The illusioned king or executive head, even though sometimes advertised as a great philosopher and a learned scholar, will allow slaughterhouses in the state without knowing that torturing poor animals clears the way to hell for such foolish kings or executive heads. The executive head must always be alert to the safety of the prajas, both man and animal, and inquire whether a particular living being is harassed at any place by another living being. The harassing living being must at once be caught and put to death, as shown by Maharaja Parikshit. The people's government or government of the people should not allow killing of innocent animals by the sweet will of foolish government men. They must know the codes of God, as mentioned in the revealed scriptures. Maharaja Parikshit quotes here that according to the codes of God, the irresponsible king or state executive jeopardizes his good name, duration of life, power, and strength, and ultimately his progressive march towards a better life and salvation after death. Such foolish men do not even believe in the existence of next life. While commenting on this particular verse, we have in our presence the statement of a great modern politician who has recently died and left his will, which discloses his poor fund of knowledge of the courts of God mentioned by Maharaja Parikshit. The politician was so ignorant of the courts of God that he writes, I do not believe in any such ceremonies, and to submit to them, even as a matter of form, would be hypocrisy and an attempt to delude ourselves and others. I have no religious sentiment in the matter. So, contrasting the statements of a great politician in the modern age with those of Maharaja Parikshit, we find a vast difference. Maharaja Parikshit was pious according to the scriptural codes, whereas the modern politician goes by his personal belief and sentiments. Any great man of the material world is, after all, a conditioned soul. He is bound by his hands and feet by the ropes of material nature. And still, the foolish conditioned soul thinks of himself as free to act by his whimsical sentiments. The conclusion is that people in the time of Maharaja Parikshit were happy and the animals were given proper protection because the executive head was not whimsical or ignorant of God's law. Foolish, faithless creatures try to avoid the existence of Lord and they proclaim themselves secular at the cost of valuable human life. The human life is especially meant for knowing the science of God, but foolish creatures, especially in this age of Kali, instead of knowing God scientifically, make propaganda against religious belief as well as the existence of God, even though they are always bound by the laws of God, by the symptoms of birth, death, old age, and disease. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This is very long purport. Prabhupada has given very elaborate and how it was and how it is now, and one has to follow the scriptural injunctions. So here in this one, Prabhupada mentions one animal can kill another animal. So this is the property of Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. It mentions that Ahastani Sahastanam Apadani Chatushpadam. Palguno Tatri Mahatam Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. A strong animal always subsists on the weaker one. That is the nature of the law. But from the human's perspective, to subsist, we are also depending, but we take only the vegetables and the fruits. Sometimes even we do not have to cut the trees. We can simply take the leaves and fruits. That could be the easy way. But whatever we take it, first we offer it to Krishna and then we take it as a prasadam. We do not have to kill any other living entities. So that is Prabhupada is mentioning in this very beautiful purport, but it gives so much of insight about the current nature of the state affairs. Okay, so that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. So here Parikshit is giving the words assurances to Mother Earth and Dharma. So yasya raste prajaha sarvaha trasyante sadvi asadubhihi tasya mattasya nasyanti kirtihi ayuhu bhago gatihi yeshradhyam paro dharmo hi attanam art nigraha atayenam vadishyami bhutadruham asattamam. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall quickly enter into Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is letter to Jayapataka, October 16, 1969, Tittenhurst. Can I request any dear devotees to read this letter?
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
My dear Jayapataka, please accept my blessings. I beg to inform you that I have received a letter from the Gaudiya Mission, Calcutta, in which they write to say as follows. We have been greatly obliged on receipt of a letter dated August 18, 1969 from Sri Krishna Das of Radha Krishna Temple, Montreal, Canada, offering us a shipment of medical stores, and again a letter dated September 1, 1969 from one administrative assistant of World Naval Service, Montreal, offering us 20,000 bags of flour for the needy in Calcutta. In India, we value such offers as coming at your instance. We contacted West Bengal government. They are not much interested in taking charge and distributing the same. We are, however, consulting other suitable parties who can handle and deal with the matter as per object of the donor. We are personally unfit for such importing and shipping matters, as you may well understand. We shall write to the parties after we get response from a dependable local party here. I am surprised that such bogus letters have come from parties claiming to belong to our centers. Our disciple Krishna Das is in Germany, not in Montreal. Anyway, such irresponsible letters dispatched from our temples must be stopped immediately. I shall be glad to hear from you about this by return of post. If somebody is unauthorizedly using our stationaries and writing letters to responsible quarters with no sanction from us, then such persons must be avoided. I hope this meets you in good health. Your ever well-wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yeah, so my takeaway is that I think Prabhupada was quite careful about how things are happening. If at all there was anything which is non-bona fide, then I think he was very quick to point out and then avoid such persons who might be getting involved in such non-bona fide activities. So same I think would apply. I think this is a takeaway point for me.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Any other points, dear devotees, you wanted to add? And also Prabhupada is mentioning about the importing and other business. So we are personally unfit for such importing and shipping things. So we need to involve other people materially engaged, but giving the right instructions so that they will deal with it and they will assist us. Okay, so that is, and also we best utilizing all these kinds of opportunities whenever it is needed. That is only my takeaway point from here. Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. And from the announcements point of view, so just have just composed a message saying that for the Sri Lord Narasimhadeva's fundraise for the Temple of Vedic Planetarium in Mayapur. We'll be sharing that message later on today. Just I'm trying to once again revise if the message is right or not, and then I'll post that one. And dear devotees, if you would you like to serve in this capacity, like use your bank accounts for that one, if you wanted to do it, I'm happy for you to take that service. In case if you do not have, anyone is not coming in the front, then I'll use mine. That's all from the announcements from me on that point. And then for the afternoon Krishna Club and evening Bhagavad Gita session with Vipin Viharidasa. That's it. And dear devotees, if you have got anything to share or you have any further updates, have got to say anything, kindly share. Okay, so if there are no further updates, then we shall conclude this session and go into the next part of our program, Srimad Bhagavatam, about the Vaikuntha descriptions and the beauty of Vaikuntha, how Lakshmi Devi and all the Vaikuntha people. Okay, 1 second before we start Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Brahma, after his meditation, Lord was very pleased, and he was showing the Vaikuntha planet. So Vaikuntha planet was so beautiful, where there is no influence of mode of passion and ignorance, and where all the devotees and also demons, they worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead without any discrimination. So pravartate yatra rajastamastayoho sattvamsha mishram najakala vikramaha nayatra maya kim udapare harer anurata yatra sura asura achitaha. So all are worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead without any discrimination. And all these people are Syamavadataha Setapatralochanaha Pishangavastraha Suruchaha Supeshashaha Sarve Chaturbahu Udmishanmani Preveka Nishka Bharanaha Suvachyasaha. Everyone are with 4 hands and eyes are with lotus petals, just like a lotus petals. All are having Pishangavastra, yellow dresses, and their bodies are very beautiful. They are in the growing youth, and their decorated jewels and so many necklaces. They are all very, very beautiful. Their bodies are, there is uncomparable. We cannot even see in this material world. So such kind of, these are all associates of the Lord. And how we can see how Lord will be more about his beauty. So that is furthermore. So and then further, Pravala Vaudiriya Brunala Vachasaha Parispurat Kundala Mauli Malinaha. And even their colors also mention Pravala Vaudiriya Brunala Vachasaha. They're having different kinds of jewels, and they are all and also their earrings, it is mentioned, and different kinds of the crowns. Likewise, there are different kinds of flower garlands in their necks. Pravala Vaiduriyam Brunala Vachasaha Parispurat Kundala Mauli Malinaha. So that is the beauty of the Vaikuntha. And further, so we are now coming to verse number 13. So here, Lord Brahma is seeing how the women of these Vaikuntha people. It is the glorification of the women in the Vaikuntha. How beauty, they are just comparing with the thunder lights. They're comparing with the thunder lights. And they have got very beautiful aeroplanes. So likewise, Brahma is saying, Brajishnubriyaha parito virajate lasad-viman avalibihi mahatmanam Vijyotamanaha pramadottamajjubihi savijdabravalibihi yadanabaha Brajishnubriyaha parito virajate. And so there are all these Brajishnubihi, by the glowing Vaikuntha lokas. Brajishnubihi, that all the Vaikuntha lokas, how they are glowing. Parito virajate, and they are completely surrounded and situated by Lasad Vimana Avalibihi Mahatmanam, and they have got brilliant airplanes Avalibihi, and they are just floating in the space, in the spiritual planets. Lasad Viman Avalibihi Mahatmanam, and the great devotees of the Lord, they have got all these great airplanes. Lapis lazuli, Vaidurias, goldens, these are all made with so much of jewels. Lasad Vimana Avalibihi Mahatmanam. Brajishnubriyaha parito virajate lasad vimana avalibihi mahatmanam. Very beautiful airplanes. All the devotees of the Lord, they are having, and everywhere it is glowing with these airplanes very beautifully. And here in this material world, all the traffic, and they cannot even go, so much of regulations, so many. So that is the situation. There is nothing to speak about this material world. So we need to speak only on the Vaikuntha. Okay, so that is Vaikuntha. And then Vijyotamanaha Pramadotta Madhyubihi Savijid Abravalibihi Yatanabaha. And Vijyotamanaha, just like a beautiful like lightning. This is lightning. Vijyotamanaha Pramada, and all the ladies. Vijyotamanaha Pramada Uttamadjubihi, and they are with a celestial complexion. Uttama celestial by complexion. Vijyotamanaha Pramadottamadjubihi. Savij Abravalibihi Yatanabaha, and Savidyut, and with like just like with electric lightning. Abravalibihi, with the clouds in the sky. Yatanabaha, clouds in the sky. The Nabaha is the sky, just like that. Like thunder lightning in the sky. Likewise, all the women in the Vaikuntha planets, they are very beautiful. As soon as they are appearing like that, Vijyotamanaha, very beautiful, like lightning. So translation for this was, the Vaikuntha planets are also surrounded by various aeroplanes, all glowing and brilliantly situated. These aeroplanes belong to the great Mahatmas or devotees of the Lord. The ladies are as beautiful as lightning because of their celestial complexions. And all these combined together appear just like the sky decorated with both clouds and lightning. So beautiful. Can I request any dear devotees to read the purport?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, please.
It appears that in the Vaikuntha planet there are also airplanes brilliantly glowing, and they are occupied by the great devotee of the Lord with ladies of celestially beauty as brilliant as lighting as there are aeroplanes. So there must be a different types of carriage like aeroplanes, but they may not be driven machines as we have experienced in the world, because everything is of the same nature of eternity, bliss and knowledge. The aeroplanes and carriage are of the same quality as Brahman. Although there is nothing except Brahman, one should not mistakenly think that there is only void, no very greatness. Thinking like that is due to a poor fund of knowledge. Otherwise, no one would have such a misconceptions of voidness in Brahman. As there are aeroplanes, ladies and gentlemen, so there must be cities and houses and everything else just suitable to the particular planet. One should not carry the ideal of imperfection from this world to the transcendental world and not take into consideration the nature of the atmosphere as completely free from the influence of time extra, as described previously. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is very beautifully, Prabhupada is explaining about the aeroplanes. So everything, it is not a machine made, all these things. There, everything is the Kaivalyam eva Murtimat. Everything is with the persons, but the same quality of the Brahman. And everything is made like Yatsankulam Haripada Anati Matra Drushtaihi, just by the glance of the Lord. Vaidurya Marakata Hemamayahi Vimanayahi. So they are very beautifully explained. Just by the glance of the Lord, it comes. And unlike here, just going to manufacture, dig the earth for the mines, and then get some kind of metal, and then just burn it, and then mold it into a proper shape, and then one has to be trained. So much of hard and struggles, and then one has to go through the diving lessons and then fails and number of times and then study, and then finally, and then once he learns that, and if he makes some mistake and go onto the road, and then he will die. So that is the nature of this material world. Of course, there are not everything, but there is a possibility of that. and also so much of struggle to maintain a car and every vehicle, paying all the insurance, this one, that one, and for that one has to work hard against struggle. That is the so much of horrible things in this material world. But in this spiritual world, everything is Brahman, quality of the Brahman. One doesn't have to manufacture. They are simply, everything is anati matra, just by glance. So everything is there, and this, the beautiful men and Krishna's devotees and the beautiful, their concerts, they are on the airplanes. So that is how it is the comparison so beautifully. We cannot even compare with that. We cannot take the ideas of the imperfection from this world to the transcendental world. This is very, very unpalatable, or just it is not a nice idea to bring this kind of concepts in the spiritual world. And also the beautiful thing here is the variegatedness. So this one, we can see, understand how this material world, so much of variegatedness is appearing here. So everything is coming from the spiritual. The source is the spiritual world. In the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Vaivarta means variegatedness, and Brahma Vaivarta means how the living entities have been into engaging in different pastimes, and then they have come down from the spiritual world to the material world to execute some kind of Lord's will or to perform pastimes. And why Krishna has been here for 125 years. There is some pastime in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. It says how Krishna creates Narayana, Lord Shankara, Brahma, and all the Saraswati, Lakshmi Devi, Durga, and Dharma, and all the so many Pashvadas, Gopis, Gopas, Surabhi cows, everything. There is a spiritual creation there. By the will of, everything appears just by the will of the Lord Krishna. And then we also see there are different things are going on in the Goloka. And Krishna's pastimes, they always have got some kind of rasa. And with that rasa, some pastime happens. Due to that pastime, those things will have a root cause why something is happening in this material world. So that means we cannot find Uddhamulam Adashakam Ashwadham Prakuravyayam Chandam Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Saveda Ved. That is spiritual world, and material world is here. And for everything is happening in this material world, the root we cannot find in the material world. The root is in the Goloka or in the Vaikuntha planets. So that we have to understand. So there is variegatedness in the spiritual planets. But some people who are thinking that one should not mistakenly think that there is only void and no variegatedness. So that is it. Prabhupada is mentioning that it is just like due to poor fund of knowledge. Otherwise, no one would have such a misconception of voidness in Brahman. That is beautifully explained. For there are airplanes, ladies and gentlemen, so there must be cities, houses, and everything else just suitable to the particular planets. So that is the beautiful explanation of the Vaikuntha planet. Brajishnu parito virajate lasit vimana avalibihi mahatmanam vijhotamanaha pramudottamadribihi savijid abravilibihi yatanabaha. So that is from this verse. Can I request dear devotees, if you have got any questions or you want to add anything, any comments? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can you explain a bit more about the variegatedness, how the condition that you have in Vaikuntha? You do everything like we do here?
Yes, Mataji. So, but there, in the Vaikuntha, all these Krishna's, Pashvadas, and all these energies, whatever we speak, the 24 elements, that is Sankhya Shastra, those, and also the Vedas, they have got their spiritual forms and serving the Lord. And he has got, like if we see a proper king, and he has got ministers, he has got assistants, he has got so many other different variegatedness, so for his opulence, but his main duty is to look after his subjects happily. So that is the variegatedness. In the Vaikuntha we see Sunandananda, Prabala, Arahana. These are the people that we would see further in the verses. And also we see in the Goloka that chart as well, how he has got Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna and Aniruddha is the 4 expansions. That is also variegatedness. And in each abode, he has got once again his opulences separately.
So is it different in Goloka than Vaikuntha?
The rasas are different, and in the Vaikuntha lokas, it is the Lord's opulences. The Lord is the master, and everyone are just like a Brutya. That comes in the later verse, Britya Prasadabhimukham Durgasavam, and he gives like a king, and everyone are his servants. That is the Vaikuntha. But in the Goloka, we see in the Vrindavana pastimes where Krishna and friends, and then Nanda Maharaj, and also Yashoda Rani. So there is no concept of Krishna being the supreme. Even the Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead, but the people, they have got intimate relationship with Krishna in a different mellows.
But it's more of a dream life there, isn't it? You don't, you remain youthful. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to go through the pains and tribulations of any activities there. Is that right?
So there is also
that's the kind of dream I have.
It's not a dream, but it's a spiritual thing. It is says Swarupena Mayopetan Pasyan Swarajyam Ruchyati. When we sleep, this material body is it goes into the deep slumber, and then still subconsciousness is keep on working on it. That is one level. And even if we leave that one and we situate ourselves in the pure spiritual body, and within that spiritual body, whoever have got that spiritual body, they go to spiritual planet. There they engage themselves. They're also like children, like at home. There are, you thief, I'm a police, just go hide and seek, let us go and play and make a temple, and then we pray prasadam. Children, they do small prasadams and offer to the Lord, and then eat it and distribute. It is not actually prasadam, taking small items, and they pretend that this is prasadam and you eat it. But in the spiritual world, everything is the spiritual, but there is a variegatedness. But it is inconceivable, because here we have got lump of body, and then we have got senses. We feel, we see it, and we touch it. These are the sense perceptions. Due to that, our mind is fully absorbed only in that one. It cannot be conceivable, the spiritual nature. So that one, when we deeply absorb Mahabhava Surupeyam, Radharani is Mahabhava. It is once we come to the Raganuga Bhakti, there we ignore everything. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is dancing like Evam Vrataha Supriyana Nama Kityaihi. So just he was dancing by taking the names of the Lord. And it is beautifully mentioned by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami from the Srimad Bhagavatam, that verse. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they do not care about the outside world. They simply absorb in that worldly happiness, dancing and glorifying the Lord, and then in the Bhava Swarupa, that is the one. And then Mahabhava Swarupa. Once we completely absorb, then the spiritual soul, it is in that mood. And then it doesn't think of the material body at all. And in that state, we do not have to worry about it. No material body. And then further, when we leave this body, that absorption, antakale chimam eva smaran muktva kalevaram, thinking that we are not the body. At the end, we are not even the mind and intelligence, because we are the consciousness. Chittam tad mahad atmakam. Yattat sattvam, yattat yattat tattvam sattatvam, chittam tad mahad atmakam. So that is mentions in the Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Kapila Bhagavan has given those descriptions. And then that is called Vasudeva Sthiti. Yadakuhu Vasudevakyam Chittam Tad Mahadatmakam. And in that state, that pure spiritual bodies, that is allowed into that spiritual Vaikuntha and Goloka to engage in those activities. It is inconceivable in this material world through imperfect senses and the mind and intelligence, which is Binna Prakriti Rastada. We have to take scriptures. But we also sometimes experience a glimpse of it when we are completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness, nothing else we think of. Then we also experience a tiny bit, a spark.
So when you're in that environment, that position, are you aware of the material world, or everything sort of out of your mind then?
No, we'll not think of this material world, but we think how we relate to Krishna. Even though we engage, like all the activities, they're just like a disease to the soul. All this karma become a disease to the soul. But when we engage in association with Krishna, then it is spiritual. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Kapila Bhagavan says how to perform this devotional service. First, one has to, he explains to Devahuti that it is a yogasya lakshanam vakshe sabhijasya drupatmaje sabhijasya, just from the seed onwards. I am going to explain this one. Mano yenaiva vidhina prasannam yati satpadam. Just how one can control the mind and then enter into the satpadam, into the Vaikuntha things, Vaikuntha planetary systems. How? First, initially, Swadharma Charanam Sekya, one has to perform his duties. Vidharma Cha Nivartanam, he has to relieve all the sinful things. And next, Daivalabdhena Santosha, whatever comes, he accept it and be happy. And then Atmavit Charanachanam, then he take the shelter of lotus feet of the spiritual master. Gramya Dharma Nirvrittischa, and one has to leave all the Gramya Dharma, all the material things. Moksha Dharma Ratistada, and then he has to take the path of liberation. Then Mitamedya Adanam Shashwad, he has to eat as much as needed for the body only, regulating the food. And Vivikta Kshema Sevanam, he has to live peacefully in one place where he is not getting agitated. And then he has to sit in the Suchaudese Pristapam, Vijitasana Asanam. He has to sit in a proper place and sit himself, and then he has to meditate, completely control the mind and senses. Tapasaucham, tapas, he has to perform tapasaucham brahmacharyam. And then Swadhyaya Purusharchanam, reading the scriptures and worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he has to do Yada Manaha Swam Virajam, Yada Manaha Swam Virajam, Yogena Susamahitam, he has to sit completely absorbed. And Kastam Bhagavato Dhyayet, he has to meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Swanasagra Avalokanaha, keeping his eyesight just on tip of the nose, having only half closed eyes, and keeping his body straight, Rujukayaha, keeping his body straight, and he has to, with half closed eyes, concentrate his glance on his tip of the nose, and then he has to meditate on Vaikuntha Abhidhyana, and thinking of the Vaikuntha planet and variegatedness. That is the one Kapila Bhagavan gives from the seed see this beginning, from the beginning of the devotional service, how step by step one has to gradually elevate himself, and then he has to think of the Lord's activities. Prasannavadanam bhojam padmagarbha arunekchanam. That is Krishna's, just meditating on the Krishna's face, and Padmagarbha Arunekshanam, and his eyesight, how beautiful it is. Nilotpaladala Shyamam, and his body is Shama. Nilotpaladala Shyamam, Senka Chakra Gadadaram, and that is the Vaikuntha Narayana form. So that is there are further descriptions just, and then लसत् पंकज किंजलका पीत कौसेय वाससं श्री भक्षभक्षं ब्राजत कौस्तुभ आमुक्त कंदरम. This is the beauty and description of the Lord's body and all his bodily parts. Mattadvirefa kalaya paritam vanamalaya parajahara valaya kiritangada nupuram. See, this is also one way reciting this thing. This the chandas or grammar, it is so beautiful. It is coming such a nice, and there itself we are observing and meditating on the Lord's form with the sound vibrations itself. And when we see and associate with the Lord, we cannot describe further. Such a beautiful, glorious thing. That is the devotional. That is the variegatedness. How we need to think of the Lord and pastimes. There are so much of beautiful things, but I would like to conclude there. And if you are happy, Mataji, so if you have further questions, please let me know.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. In this area, I think I read somewhere Parikshit Maharaj said that you do not have to go through this painful sacrifice, the penances that is stated in some of the scriptures. As long as you do sincere, pure devotional service to Krishna, you know, you engage in this service wholeheartedly, that is enough. And that's my secret, actually. So hopefully, I am on a good path. I'm not sure, because the sacrifices that is ordained in these scriptures, like for instance, you know, you do these so many days sacrifice to Vishnu, and you know, you do katha, and you actually get into the mode of not eating, sleeping, and just focusing on these performances. It's kind of not reachable in our daily living somehow. So I am struggling with that.
Yes, Mataji. So this material world is like that. It makes one to condition yataga vanasiprotaha tancham baddana damabihi. So that is the situation. Like a cow is tied with a nose thread and then a big rope and tied completely. So it cannot do anything like that. Vak tancham baddana namabihi. Everyone, all the human beings, they're also conditioned. We have to do some kind of activity to sustain this material body and also family. That we have to do it. But and also one who has taken completely surrendered themselves to Krishna and Krishna conscious, he doesn't have to do anything. He is already on that stage. But here, Sabijasya Rupatmaje, from the beginning of the seed of the devotion, why it is being explained is to control all the sense gratification thing and bring the mind into our control. And then once it comes into our control, we have to think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is beyond this material world. Then that happiness it is just bringing all negative to the zero and zero to the positive. So it is gradual elevation. But here, if he has already completely rejected this material world and then surrendered himself to Krishna, then it is ultimate thing. He doesn't have to do anything else because he's 24 tasma sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmarijyacha mayarpita mano buddhi mam yevaisisi. Asamsayaha, he's definitely coming to, he doesn't have to do anything else. Sarvadharman parityajya. That is Krishna gives. So they don't have, but here Kapil Bhagavan, all these steps for a people who has been completely absorbed in the materialist things and to control everything, he gives the step by step how to do it and what to do it, what is the Lord's features, how to meditate on Lord's lotus feet first, and how it would eliminate the ignorance in the heart of a people who has got so much of ignorance. So likewise, there are a number of step by step. But once that comes, when we are meditating on those verses and those steps, then automatically, unknowingly, anichitome gatim anvim prayunte, without knowing to us, we come to that particular position. So that is the beauty of this devotional service.
Thank you so much for explaining and taking the time to explain extra. Thank you, Prabhu. That is really beautiful. You're right. It's up to us to pick out the best. You know, there are conflicting messages sometimes, but it's best, you know, we know what is right and we will know it when we are there. We will feel it, we'll know it, and we know, you know, it will lead us into better things and higher planes. Thank you, Prabhu.
Any other questions, dear devotees? So that is the beauty of
Hare
the
Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhu. Sorry. Prabhu, just wanted to know, will we have duties there like we have duties here, and is there day and night, or it will be all the time daytime?
Yes, Mataji, that is very beautiful question, Mataji, because that inquiry, what we are going to do, that is where you have made already your path. Okay, so there in the Vaikunta, it is everyone, ye animitta nimittena dharmena aradayan harim. That is the first thing. Everyone worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, irrespective of your a demonic role or demigod role. Everyone worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is first thing. And everyone has got their bodies. श्यामावदाताः शतपत्रलोचनाः पिशङ्गवस्त्राः सुरुचः सुपेशशः सर्वे चतुर्बाहुन्मिषन्मणि प्रवेकनिष्काभरणाः सुवर्चसः. Their bodies, they're always growing youth and very beautifully decorated. That is second point. And they will never get old age, disease, and death. Such kind of things, they do not exist there. And there is no time influence there. That third thing. And now, Kaivalyameva Murtiman, everyone has got a forms. One is the very beautiful woman and the four-handed people. So that is, but even though they are Yesham Bruhat Katitataha Smitasobi Mukyaha, and even the women are very beautiful. Krishnatmanam Naraja Adiduhu Usmayadhyaihi. There is no passion in the heart of any of Krishna's devotees. Krishnatmanam Naraja, no passion. So they will not be passionate about this beautiful women, but they will be consorts of their husbands, and they are always engaging themselves in glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead in a different pastimes. That pastime also we can see in the, for example, in the temple. If we go to the Bhakti, we cannot compare anything in this yoga or something world. But if we go to the temples, there we see everyone are engaged in, I'm gardening, I'm just going to cook something for the Lord, prepare prasadam, distribute prasadam, engage all the services. If we take that Bhaktivedanta Monarch, the entire campus, the Supreme Lord, early morning to from Mangalacharan prayers to the evening. And due to the material body, some bodies get tired, and some people, but in the spiritual, there is no tiredness, no old age, no disease. Such kind of things would happen. Even though it happens, the Lord is going to wipe this, the sweating comes from the body. So in such a way, they will be completely happy, most joyfulness. Such kind of things and pastimes would be existed. There is no way that we feel distress and all these anxieties, the three material modes of anxieties. What are they? Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Adhyatmik. These things doesn't exist there. But all the pastimes, just like here, if we go to the temple, so much of happiness. If we see the women and the men, they're engaging in different activities. Likewise, there also, it is the Jagamolokam Swam Akanditotsavam. And when Lord performs these pastimes on the earth, and then he goes back, Akanditotsavam. There are all the festivals, they are not stopped. That's why Lord always there. And wherever there is a Lord, every day festivals are there, every day prasadam is there. So likewise.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, that's what I meant when I say dream world. Is something all of us would like. We dream of it, but it never is possible on the earth. It will be possible in that environment, which is amazing.
Yes, ma'am.
Forever youthful. Yeah.
Prabhu, one more thing. So there will be marriages again in the Vaikuntha. You said there will be consort worshipping Lord.
So there it is the Vaimanika Salalana Charitani Shashwat Gayanti Yatra Samala Chapanani Bhattuhu. All these devotees of Krishna along with Salalana, their concerts in the aeroplanes, they're glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is, but they're engaged, they're the servants. Even though wife and husband are there, they are serving to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But there is no physical relation like the Maituna, that kind of bhava is not existed in the Naraja. So it is that there is no passion or ignorance.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
So for example, here a wife and husband are there and they're always engaging. Wife is cooking and serving, prepare something else for the puja and all those things, and then come together and then do it. And by the way, all the devotees comes and prasadam is done, glorification is done. Likewise, we have got day and night, but there is no night there. There is no darkness. They can take kind of a taking rest kind of thing, but like a Lord sleeps, my Uparite, Lord also take rest in the Vaikuntha. Just like when Lakshmi Devi was entering into the Vaikuntha, this Dwarapalaka says, stops the Lakshmi Devi. Lord also says to this is Jaya and Vijaya, when I was taking rest, you stopped Lakshmi Devi. Etat pureva nirdishtam ramaya kruddhaya yada. Lakshmi Devi was angry. So that's how the pastimes there. So but also what we need to do, the most important thing is we should not forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead at any point of time. Either in the spiritual world or in the material world. But in the spiritual world, Jaya and Vijaya, they were, because they have stopped Lakshmi Devi. That is the first thing. When the Lord was sleeping, they were doing their duty, but they have stopped. For example, when someone is donating to the Supreme Personality of Godhead for Lord's activity, we should not make any obstacle for it. So likewise, when Lakshmi Devi was entering, Jaya and Vijaya, they said, okay, Lord is taking rest. Why now Lakshmi Devi is come here? Lord sleep may be disturbed. Even they are thinking for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But somewhere or other, Lakshmi Devi was not happy. So what is Lakshmi Devi? She is always worshipping the Supreme Lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is only her duty. So what should have been done there? That one has to use his intelligence that comes from the scriptures. What kind of mood they have. That's why Lord says, Kadati Krutya Mam Yadbho Bahu Akratam Atikramam. Oh great sages. So this Etavato Pashudau Mahyam Jayo Vijay Evacha Kadati Krutya Mam Yadbho. Bahu akratam atikramam. They forgot me for time being, and because of that, they have made very big mistake to offend you. Even though, and then he speaks so many things happens, and then at the end he says, what is the main reason? Because Jaya and Vijaya, you have stopped Lakshmi Devi. That's why she foretold that one. That's why now when the Brahmanas, 4 Kumaras are entering into the Vaikunta, you forgot me. You forgot me. That's why you made a mistake. And then later on, Jaya and Vijaya, they also ask forgiveness from these Kumaras. Mavo nutapakalaya bhagat smrutigno. Moho bhavedikhatano prajato adho adaha. O Brahmanas. So you have cursed, that is appropriate for our mistake. That is fine. But Mavo nutapakalaya bhagat smrutigno. And please kindly bless us so that we do not forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead at any point of time, even though we go into Prajo, Ado, Adaha, whatever the lower kinds of species. That is the benediction they are asking. So one has to remember the Supreme Lord all point of time. What happens? They will never ever make mistakes again. They do not fall down from the Vaikunta. So that's why one has to equip with the all the knowledge. Then he doesn't do any kind of things. Even though here Jaya and Vijay they have done for the sake of, it is also part of the Lord's plan, because in the he has to manifest some pastimes on the earth. That is another plan. Everything is, but what we have to do it. So that is also Krishna. He wanted to utilize every opportunity to do only good for us. Even though that Jaya and Jaya, when come to the Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakshipu, Ravanasura, Kumbhakarna, Shishpala, Dantavakra, they were not the sinful people before. And it is part of the Lord's plan. But they have been engaged in the horrible way, in the opposite to Krishna. Okay, so that is why we have to equip with the philosophy properly and situate ourselves not to forget Krishna, even when we are at work and engaging ourselves in the family affairs or in the friends or some wherever we go, we should not forget Krishna. That is the prime duty. So how does that come? So we have to stop watching the TVs and the videos, anything which is not Krishna thing, which will kill the intelligence. It will kill the intelligence. We cannot remember the philosophy. We cannot remember any verses properly. When we stop that one, then only remembering these verses would stay in our heart. That is first thing. And then when we engage ourselves continuously, Swadhyaya Purusharchanam, and when we study our Vedic Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and the scriptures, then our heart will be completely free from all these material things. Then we situate, that is the Brahma Bhota Prasannatma Nasojiti Nakamkrati. And then he will be in the right position as a devotee of the Lord. He will become a Mahabhagavata. Okay, so that is
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the beautiful katha. It's so sweet, all these stories you're telling us. Can you possibly give us the link to that quote, what this reading that you just, the sweetness of the Vaikuntha planet and the...
so this is the second chapter, verse number 9.
Oh, right. Hare Krishna.
And then, so I'm also just bringing some of the topics from the third canto, 15th chapter, and how that Kumara's pastime to explain further so that it will be completed here in this context. So that is about the variegatedness. And then, so we shall cover only once, there is no purport. So let us see how this verse is. Verse number 14. Yes, Mataji.
Anybody fall like go to Vaikuntha planet, they don't come like repeated birth and death. Is that Like that?
Yes, Mataji. So whoever goes to the Lord, न तद्भासयति न सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धधाम paramama. That is Krishna's assurance. So whoever is in the Vaikunta, they don't come back to this material world again. Sometimes we also see, for example, Durvasa Muni also went to Vaikunta, but his purpose was different. And he doesn't have a place to stay there like other people. And for Kumaras also went to Vaikunta, but their position was just at only the entrance, and then they had returned back. After seeing the Lord and taking darshan of the Lord, taking that blissfulness, and then they have come back. That is their position. But we also need to understand that so many people are living within the Vaikunta. And here, Krishna chooses few people to send to this material world sometimes to make the pastimes so that all other conditioned souls will be attracted towards the Vaikunta. That is the Lord's plan.
So like Jaya and Vijaya is only for like because they have got course. That's why they have to come back. Earthly planet.
Yes, Mataji. So that is Lord, even though they have forgotten for a few moments when they were acting as a Dwarapalakas, so Krishna utilized it, the Lord utilized them, that situation, that they made a mistake towards the Brahmanas, or and also Lord also has seen why this Jaya and Vijaya, they have stopped Lakshmi Devi entering into the Vaikunta, and Lakshmi Devi foretold, and Lord has to fulfill all of those things at the same time. So he has manifested that pastime. And also he says to Maisam Brahma Yogena Nistirya Brahma Heranam Pratyeshanam Nikasham me Kalena Alpiyasa Punaha. And you would come to me very quickly. Oh Jaya and Vijaya, do not worry. All auspiciousness to you. Even though you are acting as a Maisam Brahma Yogena, even though you are acting as a demons, but you are always remembering me. Nistirya Brahma Helanam. And because you have insulted these four Kumaras somewhere or other, so that will be Nistirya, it will be also nullified. So that is Lord's once again assurance to his devotees. And even though Kumbhakarna, they have Hiranyakshipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravanasura, Kumbhakarna, even though they did so many things opposite to Lord Rama or opposite to the Vishnu or Prahalada, or Siswala also did opposite to Krishna, but they did not go to the hell. They did not go to the hell. That is Lord assurance. Kalena alpiyasa punaha. You will come back to me, and then you will be situated. Syapo mayeva nimitah tadaveta vipraha. This sapa is only arranged by myself. So that means Lord has taken charge of this Jaya and Vijaya. So they will not ever fall down. They are always eternal associates of the Lord. Is that answers, Mataji?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. The next is the beautiful verse. We are already 7:45, but maybe we can just see and then we will discuss in the next week. Shri Yatrupadi Uragaya Padayoho Karoti Manam Bukuda Vibhutipihi Krenkam Shtaya Kusumaguranogai Vigiyamana Priyakarma Gayati. So here, the goddess of fortune in her transcendental form is engaged in loving service of the Lord's lotus feet. And being moved by the black eyes, followers of spring, she is not only engaged in variegated pleasure, service to the Lord, along with her constant companions, but is also engaged in singing the glories of the Lord's activities. So that is her beautiful eternal service to the Lord, engaged in singing the glories of the Lord's activities. So that is Lakshmi Devi is engaging. So we shall cover this verse in the next week. I request dear devotees, if you have got any further questions and or you wanted to add anything else.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhu, can I ask you something apart from this, about the today's days of Tharpon? Why, regarding the ancestors and things we do? Just need to clearing what is bothering me.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Prabhu, Tharpon we do for our ancestors, right? Our forefathers.
Yes.
But in Krishna consciousness, we believe we are soul. When we leave this body, we don't have any bonding, so we don't know each other.
So this one, once again, we hear a Krishna conscious person, he is always responsible. That is, he is always duty bound. And we have got family members, wife and children. We have to work, and we are a family people as Grihastha. As long as we are Grihastha, we have to carry out these duties. We are going for work to get some money. And we are doing so. If we think that if I'm a Krishna conscious person, I don't work, then it may not work for a Grihastha. Grihastha has to work and he has to feed the family. And also he has to offer oblations to the forefathers, even though he is a Krishna devotee. So here, Narasimhadev also says that, and Krishna, it is who doesn't have to carry out this is yes sarvapmana saranam saranyam gato mukundam parihritya kartum, who has completely surrendered themselves to Krishna 100%. But can I say that one? I cannot say, because I'm going for 8 hours, 9 hours, or 10 hours a work. I am traveling and then come and home, buy something, and then feed them. I am doing all engaging in all these activities. So because I'm anyway engaging these activities, even though I'm preparing prasadam, first offer it to Krishna, and then later on taking that prasadam, offer it to the forefathers, and then for forefathers the pinda, make those pindas like we have read in the Indira Ekadasi, and then smell it and offer it to the animal, like a cows and bulls. And then if it is not, otherwise birds are also, or crows, that is auspicious. And then we come home, to, and then we honor prasadam. That is also mentioned here. So in the ISKCON there is some similar kind of conversations happen. It gives, but as a matter of duty, it is not a hard thing. But if we also prepare something, we are still grihasthas. Okay, so it's still grihasthas. We need to remember we are not sannyasis. We are still grihasthas. We have to prepare something as much as possible. If not opulent, just whatever we prepare for Krishna as a prasadam, after that we give that to forefathers. That way, because they will receive the benefit of the Krishna prasadam. It is the daytime for the forefathers. They will be pleased with us. And if we see Lord Rama, how he has seen his father, even though he went back, and then he was able to see Dasharath Maharaj after the battle with Ravanasura. And also Parikshit, when he left his body, and his son Janamejaya, he was performing Sarpayaga Yajna, and then to kill all the snakes. But at the time, Vyasadeva says, with his mystic power, he brought Parikshit Maharaj in front of Janamejaya, and then he stopped, and he was consoled. And Parikshit was also happy. So we have to honor this prasadam we have to offer this prasadam to the forefathers. They will be very happy. Even though they have liberated, and even though we are devotees, but still one has to carry, if we carries out, as long, because still we are the grihastha, we still remember I am a grihastha. Likewise, we offer that one to forefathers, and then we take the prasadam. That way everything will become perfect. There is nothing, no conflicts here. Krishna devotee is always responsible devotee. He is engaged in his duties, and when he becomes a complete sannyasi, then there is nothing else he can do it, because he doesn't have to worry about any other living entities. So here, as part of the Pitru it is always advised, offer prasadam to Lord and then give that prasadam to the forefathers. That way they will be more benefited and delighted, and they will be elevated to the further. If they have been liberated and in the Brahmabhota stage or Prasanatma, something like that, in the Brahman, they will be qualified to enter into the spiritual planets like Vaikuntha according to their desire. Or if they wanted to come here again to perform devotional service, they will take birth again and then they will enter into Goloka or Vaikuntha. So that kind of auspiciousness will be happening.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So I wanted to ask you, so that relation will remain there forever, Prabhu, with our forefathers, even though they are liberated, or I mean, after leaving this body and the soul goes to whatever planet according to the karma, the relation still stays there, like with us?
No, Mataji. So once we become spiritualized, so that our association is with only the Supreme Lord. And also when we see past times, when Yudhishthira also heard that his father Pandu was in the Yamadharma Rajya Sabha, and then his desire was to perform Rasu Yajna, and then he did all as merit. But once he went back there, his association with only the Lord. There is no relationship between father and mother with the material bodies. If they are the real devotees of the Lord, father and mother, that relation may be carried out. For example, Prit Maharaj, and he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his wife Archi. And then when he was leaving this world, and Archi also entered into the fire, and they both went to the same planet as a husband and wife. And likewise, so many husband and wife, that would be carried out into the spiritual planet if both are devotees and perfect couple. Sometimes they are opposite, wife and husband. At that time, do they go? For wife, wherever husband goes, wife will go. If wife is a devotee, she will only go. If husband is a devotee, both will go. And also, because wife always receives half of husband's pious credits, even though she doesn't do anything. Just because being a wife, she will get half of the pious credits of a husband. But when woman does, only she gets the pious. It doesn't go to husband. So likewise, there are pastimes. From the Krishna conscious perspective, these material relations may not be carried out unless they are a devotees and unless they are relation to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
And then we say like offer to our, like, so we have to keep like photo and then offer, or just put like
Sorry, Mataji.
you said we have to offer after Krishna, we offer our prasadam, and then we have to offer our what you call pitru or whatever. So we have to put their photo and offer them.
Yes, Mataji. So just whatever the prasadam we offer to Krishna, we take that prasadam offered to the forefathers, and then I don't know that process. Generally, Brahmanas do it. Process, Shraddha ceremonies, that needs to be carried out by a responsible grihastha.
Prabhu, is Shraddha and Tarpan is different thing, isn't it? Shraddha and Tarpan is a little bit different, or it's the same?
It is the same, Prabhu, just for I am understanding. So
in
Shraddha,
Prabhu, in our culture, the way I'm not sure, that's how we brought up. Shraddha means like when someone passed away, after certain days of mourning, you do the Shraddha. But Tarpan, we do every year on the like today's days, on the Mahalaya day, we call it Mahalaya Devi Paksha, and we go to Ganga, and like not for one person, for all ancestors, all our forefathers, like from the generation and generation. But Shraddha is personally who has passed away for him recently. That's in my or Bengali culture. I don't know about others.
Yeah, I think you may be right, Prabhuji. Generally, it once in a year, and this is Mahalaya Amavasya Day or Pitra Amavasya Day. So this is to be done. at least once in a year that comes. And it's different people, they call differently. And also there is a place, Gaya, and where all these Shraddha ceremonies are performed. Yeah, there is once again, it is a deep topic. But from our simple perspective, we offer prasadam to Krishna and offer it to forefathers, and then offer it to later on, smell it and give it to some kind of crows or birds, or especially crow is mentioned, and then or cow and bull. So if we offer it to that one, that is also good. And then later on we take the prasadam. That way, we are simply, it is based on time, place, and circumstances. And if you are in India and we have enough time, then we can do all this, just bringing brahmanas home and then perform Shraddha ceremony, and then just leaving this pinda into the water, this balls made with the rice, and then smell it and then leave it into the Ganges water, like that, in the pious places like Gaya.
Bro, my little understanding about this is like, if we can't do like all those things with the animals and things in here, we believe if we offer to Krishna and pray to Krishna that Krishna please keep our forefathers' soul in rest and take it to your abode. That is all. That's
Yes,
what
yes, that you are right, Prabhuji. So that way we offer it to Krishna and take some prasadam of it, and then we also just put in front of the forefathers' pictures, and then just taking them, just please bless us, so that we engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness and engage in the devotees association. That way we request their blessings as well, and they will also be pleased. It is a small thing, but there is no contradictions there, but we just only understanding.
Prabhu, that's the point you just said. Then they will be pleased and they will bless us. That's the point. I have little bit of gray area in there. Will they remember us? They are spirit soul now. They gone
Yes,
to.
yeah, there, Pitrus, there is separate Pitruloka, but some they have done pious activities. They may be still in the Pitruloka. Even their forefathers, they have not got the spiritual body yet. If they have got the spiritual body, that is well and good. We do not have to worry about it, but we do not know. Or we are conditioned by the ignorance and passion. So that's why we have to offer this Shraddha ceremony to the forefathers today, because it is a Pitru Amavasya.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. This subject is quite, as you say, very deep, and it's a gray area. A lot of us don't know a lot of the meaning of it all. I wonder if we can put aside a time when we can discuss it a bit more deeper, because why are we performing all these when we don't have a clue what the understanding is about? What is it? Because as Prabhu said, when they're gone, why have we got all these responsibilities? Why is it that, you have to try and resurrect? In a way, you're resurrecting these bodies. And if they're not our responsibility anymore, because we haven't got that relationship, the connection, what's the meaning in it all? It's just extra sacrifices, really. That in my eyes, I still don't understand it. And I know we perform it every year. And there's a lot of people come to the temple and they bring all these food items, and the corridor is full up. You can't even pass at times. It's so much food. And what is the meaning of it all? How would they dismiss their penances like that? I don't understand it. Is it possible for us to have a special elected time to discuss this a bit more, so we can have a bit clearer understanding? I'm confused with it.
Mataji, we are the subject matter came up because today is the day, so we are a little bit discussing about that. But you are right; it's a deep, is a deep subject. And the other thing is what Prabhu said, Amukha Prabhu said, is we have to think as a responsible Krishna conscious person. We think that we are a Krishna conscious person and we pray to Krishna for anyone and everyone's good. That is our heart. But because it's a special day, so at the same time we pray to Krishna for our forefathers as well. That's simple. If we keep it as a simple, that will be it.
Yes, Prabhuji, that is beautifully summarized. And so this is, I'm going to read Bhagavad Gita purport by Srila Prabhupada, chapter 1, text 42. So due to the evil deeds of the destroyers of family tradition, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. Prabhupada gives in the purport, if one cannot do yearly Shraddha Karma for all the ancestors, it could be done once for all in this auspicious month, especially Mahalaya Amavasya. Pitrulokas, 1 day equals 1 month on earth. That's why do Tarpana every Amavasya? If possible, daily doing puja for Lord, offering Krishna Bhog and then offering to Guru Maharaj and then taking some to ancestors and then partaking it as a Nitya Karma. It is nice, but Shraddha Karma should not be stopped. If you have no time to do every Amavasya, you could do it on special days like Mahalaya Amavasya or on solar eclipse. So you must do more research on this and ask from Pujari in the temple. They can guide you. So that is very beautiful, and there are further instructions also given by Srila Prabhupada there. And also Prabhupada mentions, one of the devotee mentions the Lord Narasimhadev speaking to Prahlada. Kurutvam preta krutyani pidhu potasya sarvashah Madanga Sparshenga Anga Lokan Yasyati Suprajaha. Even though your father is purified by touching my hands, but still you have to carry out your duty. Even though your father Hiranyakashipu is liberated by my touch, but still, O Prahlad, you have to carry out your duty. My dear child, your father has already been purified just by the touch of my body at the time of his death. Nonetheless, the duty of your son is to perform the Shraddha ritualistic ceremony after his father's death, so that his father may be promoted to a planetary system where he may become a good citizen and a devotee. Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th Canto, chapter 10, verse number 22. So that is Lord Narasimhadev's words to Prahlada. And also there is other verses mentioning in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that is 11th Canto, chapter 5, verse number 41. Who has completely renounced from the material activities, then he doesn't have any duty to carry out. Devarushi, Bhota Apta Runam Pitrunam, Na Kinkaro Nayam Runicha Rajan, he doesn't have any indebted to his forefathers. Sarvatmanahaya Sarva Saradam Saranyam Gato Mukundam Parihutya Kartum. So that is for the sannyas, he doesn't have to do all these things. But Gruhastha, a responsible Krishna conscious devotee, he do carry out. It doesn't take much time. Just we do not have to speculate much. Simply act and wait few minutes, done. And then if we have kind of something else, then it will be bigger and putting ourselves into anxiety.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Can I add something, Prabhu, like what I know about it?
Yes, Mataji, please.
It is like as Debashish Prabhu was asking, will they remember us or not? So there is an entire Purana, Garuda Purana, which explains everything, what happened to forefathers when they die. So it is like we are obliged to do all these sacrifices till the forefathers get liberated or they get another body. So till that, it is our responsibility to give all these rituals, all these things to our forefathers. They will remember us because they will be in the Pitraloka. They will be looking forward that their grandsons or their
like in their lane, their sons or their grandsons will do some offering to them, then only that they will get the food there. So that we know, like that the shraddha, the food that we give when we offer to Bali Karma is the only thing they will get there. They will have a different body which will not die, whatever sufferings they will get. So they will remember and they will look forward, if when only we give this food, that only they will have there. So even though when we come to Krishna consciousness, we say that 21 generations of our forefathers will get liberated. It means that they will get a better chance to perform devotional service. It is not meaning that as soon as when someone get into Krishna consciousness, all the 21 generations just they directly go to Golaka Vrindavan. It's not like that. If anyone want to go to Golaka Vrindavan or Vaikuntha, they have to do devotional service by their own. So but when someone in the family get devotional services, the forefathers will get a better chance in a better family, so that they can do devotional service. So as soon as they will get liberated, or as soon as they get another body, it is our duty to perform the Shraddha ceremony. But as we don't know when they'll get liberated or they get another body, we don't know. So we have to do that because they will remember us. That's why we know that when there's astrological, they will say that you got the curses of your pitras because you didn't do that. So they can know that you got this curse from your forefathers because you didn't do that. So it is well connected. That's why when we got a kid, when we got a children, it is said that it is our responsibility to make the kid Krishna consciousness, because Krishna sent that soul to us because Krishna want us to deliver that soul. So it is a responsibility of parents to make our kids Krishna consciousness and make them liberated from this bondage. So like that, our responsibility, we have the same responsibility to deliver our parents. So I don't remember the verse, but it is mentioned somewhere, a putra or the son who is not able to deliver his father is considered as a stool of mother and a urine of the father. So yes, the responsibility of a son is to deliver their forefathers. That is their responsibility. So it is a must. Like even though we are doing Krishna consciousness, we don't know what our forefathers are suffering there. So scriptures are mentioning that it should be done. So it is very much needed. Even though we are in Krishna consciousness, it's our duty to do something to our forefathers also. Because since we are coming to Krishna consciousness, we should not think that we become free from all these responsibilities, so we can just do our things, but we should also take care of them. It is very much important. It is mentioned everywhere, like it is that much important. So as you were saying, it is very important to serve Krishna Prasada to our forefathers, because they will be happy, so that we can also follow our devotional practice in a more strict and more focused way. This is what I know, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, perfectly explained, beautifully explained.
Thank you, Mataji. At the same time, Mataji or Prabhuji, just I'm thinking that this is not our only birth. We've been born many times, maybe animal and things. So we will have like millions of ancestors. How do we? So is all goes same, right? Is it or?
So here we have got human body and also matured human body. Previously also we have got, but we did not get a chance to hear about Krishna, and we have passed it unnecessarily. But when we are offering this kind of Shraddha ceremony, when we do it, our children are also observing it. We need to remember, our children are also observing. Just because my father is doing, but he is not doing anything else, why should I do it? So children also may think that. So one has to be responsible. It is the tradition. It is coming from the generations since the beginning of the creation. It all comes from the Vedas. So we have to carry out as long as we are Grihastha. If we are Krishna consciousness, then we do not have to worry about Krishna consciousness in the sense completely surrendered with no material activities. Then we can, that is a different level of transcendence. But here, as a Grihastha, we have family, children, and everyone are observing us, what we are doing and how our activities are. So a Krishna conscious devotee is responsible always for his devotion, his dependence, and also forefathers. Otherwise, we wouldn't. We got this material body to get an opportunity to carry out our devotional service from our father and mother, and they got their father and mother. We have to remember them and also offer our respects and then gratitude towards them. That is our humbleness.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, everyone, for fantastic discussion. I have learned a lot from there. I believe I have learned a lot, and lots of clarification I got from this. The summary is, Prabhu, because we got this human body, and this is a rare opportunity for us, and we have, at the same time, we have this opportunity to people around us or people related to us to bring to Krishna's abode. So if we pray to Krishna, Krishna will take care of it. But of course, we have to be wholeheartedly and Krishna conscious and surrender to Krishna and do this way. That's my understanding out of this whole conversation. Thank you, Prabhu. Very good.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Okay, so that is about the Sarva Pitru Amavasya. Okay, so we shall stop our session there, unless if devotees have got any further questions. Okay, so we shall conclude and continue with further japa. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Hare Krishna. Everyone. Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda